Welcome everybody to the Milwaukee Mile as we get ready for the Menards 400, race 11 of 16 in RACC Season 9. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Of course, I am your host, E-Man. As we get ready for qualifying, you can see everyone lined up on the back straightaway as we get ready to go. Points have been shaken up. It's a whole new battle for a lot of drivers after that chaotic finish at Chicagoland. TCT, this is the biggest news. TCT out of RACC. He left, and so his spot is up. That means there's going to be another spot open for everyone. So, valuable points there. We'll go and take a look at the points in just a moment. We'll see where everyone lies. It's a Saturn, very important. He's right in that 43 on the front of your screen. Big day for Saturn. Just got into the chase from last week and now is in position to keep that chase spot. So qualifying now underway, and Saturn's the first one to go out. Pole is just 1 point here. Nothing to really scoff at, but still important. We've had championships come down to just 1 or 2 points, so every point does matter from here on out, especially with the chase starting up very soon. Right now, Saturn, 79 points. 3 points ahead of Dark, who's on the cut line. And then Mason sitting about, what's that? Another, I don't know, 12 points away. So it's all kind of a mix-up as, there we go. Saturn's time's a 26.433, a quick lap. And so, we have the 00. I believe this should be the first start from Ken is the name. So we'll see. So the 00, 26.638. Not a bad start. As it's Dark up next. Dark, right now on the cut line. He's up next. He's at 76 points. Got a little bit of a gap on Mason. But every point matters for him. A bad finish at Chicagoland. Of course, with that unfortunate ending. Did end up finishing 6th. Looking for something here. We'll have to see what Dark can put down. 26.7. It's going to be towards the bottom of the board in terms of times tonight. Not a bad time, though. Up next is Yummy. You got to get out of the racetrack before Yummy comes by. Yummy had to miss the last 2 races, and he's sitting in a bad spot. Currently sitting in 8th place, a point behind Mason. Needs 13 points to get into the chase. Of course, that's just if Dark gets 0 points. Looks like Krieger going out after Yummy. This guy might be in the draft, honestly. No, he's pretty far back. Yummy, a 26.696, a pretty nice time. As Krieger, our current championship leader, and holding it by 40 points, 162 over 122. 40 points, yeah. 40 points exactly. But it's the playoff points that really kind of mix up the front two in points. Pink with 19 playoff points, or chase points, or whatever you want to call it. And then Krieger with 13. And Krieger will not get pole. A 26.567, a great time, but Saturn just had a better one. Mason up next. Fastest lap was a 26.7 in practice. See what Mason can do. He's a little bit high in turns 1 and 2. Mason, right below the cut line, was a major factor in Chicagoland for drivers like Yummy and Ginty. Out of turn 4, Mason doesn't improve from his practice runs. A 26.783. As it's Ginty out next. Ginty, 9th in points. Still technically within that cut line. Sitting at 60 points. Needs 16 points to get the tie with not Mason. Tie with Dark, and who's sitting right on that cut line. We have Milwaukee, and then we have Daytona, and that sets the chase. So not a lot of time for Ginty, not a lot of time for Yummy, not a lot of time for Mason. Those three are really the outsiders looking in. So on the chopping block, we have Blaze and Juan and Pink. Ginty stays out of the wall through turn 4, and it's a 26.583. Third place for Ginty. Good starting spot. Juan up next. Only, I believe, one start for Juan this season. Got 4 points from it. Juan out of turn 4. It looks like a pretty decent lap. Oh, well, it looked nice. It's a 26.8, unfortunately. As it's Blaze up next. So it's Blaze, then Pink. Blaze set the fastest lap in practice. It was a 26.4. Can he recreate that in qualifying? Looking for a pole. Oh, just off. A 26.513. Can't steal it away. As we got Jay. Jay is going to make a start. We're going to have a full field. Someone's not going to make it in. So now it's going to be possibly Juan on the chopping block. Or Pink. We'll have to see where Pink sets in. He's currently sitting second in points. Has 2 poles already this season. Can he get his third? Out of turn 4, Pink. Ooh, towards the bottom. It's a 6th place spot. 26.688. And now it's Jay. Who's going to decide if Juan is in or Juan is out? Again, RACC only lets 10 drivers in. Turn 4. Just start his lap. Jay. I got 4 corners. Who's going to make it into the Milwaukee Mile? Little tap out of turn 2. Pretty wide in turn 3. Up towards the wall through 4. Into the wall in 4. Is Jay going to make it to the race? No! A 27.3. He's out. And that will set the field. Saturn, with his first pole of the season, by a good amount too. Nearly a 1/10 of a second over Blaze. Then Krieger, Ginty, Ken, Pink, Yummy, Dark, Mason, and Juan rounding out the field. What a qualifying show these guys put on. As it is time to watch them all migrate to the start-finish line. Look at all these guys running to the start-finish line. They don't want to drive their cars to there because it wastes fuel. Definitely don't want that. Altcast is live if you're interested in see just a different angle on the broadcast. It is used for replays and all that. It's linked in the description below, or at least the channel is. Waste fuel. Oh. Let me not get duplicates here. Now we get to see everyone line up. Oh! So we get Saturn on pole. It's going to be a good race, good starting spot for him. The main deciding factor for tonight is to survive. Short track racing always gets intense, and especially with how these cars drive here at Milwaukee, it's going to be a dogfight. Saturn getting into spot. Blaze will be in second. The split for tonight's race is 30-30-30. So a pretty easy lap count to keep track of. Lap 30, lap 60, and then the finish. That is your stage split. No cautions, of course, for RACC. As we get ready to go. 2 races left in the chase. Desperation might start to set in. Looks like Coma won't be able to make it tonight as well. That's going to be a major part, as Coma is in the chase, although maybe slightly expected. Let's see. Go. So as everyone gets lined up, we just now wait for the countdown. Drivers that are looking in to the chase are all at the rear of the pack. Yomi, Mason, and Ginty. Ginty being in 4th, the highest one up, as Jay tries to get to the flag stand. Might want him to move before we start this race. Might want to bring him up there, give him a little bit of fly. Again, I believe we're just now waiting on Jay. Not entirely sure. That bounces back and forth on your screen. So again, Saturn, Blaze, Krieger, Ginty. I believe that's Ken, Yummy. Pink, Yummy. Confused the 20 and the 14, of course. Dark, Mason, and then 1, your field. As there's the ready up from Junior. Junior just had to make sure Jay was not in the way. Who's gonna get the good start? There we go. Second to last chase race. Or, yeah. Here's the countdown. 2 races to go until the cut line. We're underway. Krieger with a good start. Can't quite take it into advantage until turn 1. Ginty now on the inside. He's shoving his way through. Ginty almost pushing Krieger into the wall. Here comes Blaze back on the inside. Ginty using the bumper in 3. Can't quite break away, but Saturn leads lap 1. 3 wide in the back as Saturn starts to pull away from the field. Ginty looking down low, but it's actually Krieger who's on the bumper. Still 3 wide in the back. Ginty wide out of turn 4 into the wall. Still retains third. It's all about the dive into these corners. It's all about moving the other guy out of the way. Blaze starting his chase on the lead. Krieger using the bumper into turn 3, moves Ginty to the high side. He's going to take third place. Pretty tame start, all things considered, as Mason now making it 3 wide. Ginty able to kind of stay in front for fourth. But it's Blaze who's chasing down Saturn. 2 fastest cars in practice, battling it out up front. Just 0.2 of a second between the two. Blaze known for being aggressive. Saturn down low to block. They're nearly 4 wide mid-pack. Blaze on the run with the run on the inside. They're side by side for the lead. If Saturn didn't go too low in 1 and 2, I think he would have been able to keep that lead for a little bit longer, but Blaze takes the lead on lap 5. Saturn's not done yet. Still hanging out on the outside, looking for the switchback. Can't get the car to rotate, though. He sits right on the rear bumper of Blaze. Krieger now trying to split away from the pack. Saturn gets up close. Right on board with the 43. See, looks a little bit low, gets the run down the front straightaway, now looks to the inside. Can he take it? Blaze tried to shut the door, he goes wide. Here comes Saturn for the lead. He takes it back on lap 8. Is that all Blaze has got, though? They're still side by side. The switchback from Blaze, can he get it to work? They're side by side down the front straightaway. It's a dead heat. But Blaze takes it back, holds Saturn to the outside, going into turn 1. More of the bumper being used. Diving in, but goes wide. He's going to try to look there, going into turn 1. Doesn't quite have the corner. Saturn dancing down the back straightaway, looking for a gap. Lays a little bit wide. Saturn trying to take advantage. Can't get the car to stay down. Gonna have a run out of turn 4. Looks down low. They're getting close again. Blaze leaving a lot of bottom. A lot of that inside lane. It's valuable space here at Milwaukee. Blaze back down to defend, into the grass. He's going to go wide in turn 4. Saturn putting the nose in, can't quite get to the quarter panel. What a battle for the lead on lap 15, halfway through stage 1. These two have not let up. It's Juan up the third, by the way. Where did he come from? As it's Juan who gets by Krieger. Started in the back, now up to the front. As I believe that might be Dark looking to merge, or he's AFK. Or looking like the latter. As Saturn still trying to put the nose in on the inside. Krieger trying to do the same. Oh, Saturn just can't get the run on the inside. That's what Blaze has been doing, though. That's smart. It's using that outside lane to get the run. Using the inside to defend on a block like that. Blaze being really smart with his blocks and his lanes that he's running. You can see he's going to be a little bit wider here, but he's going to get that exit run. Saturn up to meet his line. Oh, Mason upside down. Mason up and over on the back straightaway. Will that be a caution? None called yet. There it is. Caution on the racetrack. And it's going to be for Ginty and Mason. These two are racing each other pretty hard. Blaze will get the race back. That's why we have the alt cast. This is exactly why. It's we'll go and use it for the replay here. So down the front straightaway, you know, Ginty's throwing these big blocks. Mason on the inside through one. Ginty goes a little bit wide, gets the car to come back around. And on the switchback, just flat out turns him. And then you can see the flip. So we'll go and look at that one more time in slow motion. And that brings out the caution, and Ginty gets a 1 out of 3. No, that's Ken who will stay out under the caution. So the 00 will be moved to the front of the field. Everyone else did come down pit lane. So Ginty with a 1 out of 3 pretty early into the race. You don't usually see warnings in RACC, but every time you see a pretty intentional spin, it is one to look out for. I can't believe it. We're not streaming. First caution on lap 17. It'll be Ken up front, then Blaze, then Saturn, then Krieger. Krieger always good on the restarts. It's going to be interesting to see how Saturn and Blaze try to defend Krieger. My way of defending it is just go to the inside. Krieger doesn't like when there's a car to his inside. So that's my strategy with it. It works every time, without fail. So that's my recommendation to these front three is just go to the inside and then brake. So we're just a little bit past halfway in the stage. Those that need it most still kind of towards the rear of the pack. Yomi, Mason, and Ginty. Actually, those three bottom 4. Drivers where it doesn't really matter is Pink and Krieger. Oh, excuse me. These point standings still have TCT in here, so realistically, Mason's in the chase because you know, TCT leaving opens up that spot potentially, and so as it stands currently, Mason is in the chase. So I will correct myself there. It's 7th technically because TCT leaving RACC. That gets rid of that spot unless he does come back and talks with Junior. So Saturn's technically 4th in points, Dark is 5th, and Mason is 6th, technically, as it currently stands with TCT out. So that means it's actually Yummy and Mason on the cut line, and they're 1 point apart, so that's actually huge. Gingy just 4 points out from Mason. Dark has a nice gap after TCT ends up leaving. Of course, Dark not here anymore, though, unfortunately for him. So that's... hopefully he can come back. He has time. We're only in lap 18. We've been sitting here for a few minutes. Everyone's putting R in chat. Everyone's ready to go. Oh no, it's the Wi-Fi that went out for Dark. Oh no, that's not good. Hopefully that can come back and he can get back into this race. Keep that spot. You know, a race miss, an entire missing of a race is gonna mean a lot because you got Mason, Yummy, Ginty all kind of within a 1 race gap. That can do a lot of damage. You know, that you'd go from being technically 5th to possibly being 8th in the points just from 1 race. And that's how close it is for the cut line. You know, Krieger's got the points lead by 40, and then Pink's got a 20 point gap from Coma, and then Saturn, you know, is sitting 20 points behind Coma. So, you know, the front few spots are already secured. It's really just this cut line that's got everyone super bunched together, with Saturn all the way back to, I'd say, Ginty. Theoretically, Bede is also in it, in the hunt for the cut line, but of course, only time will tell. Technically, Coma could join. Technically, Vento could join. Technically, Bede could join the race. Someone did just join the game. I wonder if we were waiting on Dark the whole time. We were. Dark back into the game. He's going to go back racing. He'll be in 10th. Still will be on the lead lap. His chase hopes. Back in it. You can see him now walking in on your screen. Go to the rear of the pack. That's what we were waiting on. That makes more sense. So again, your top 5. Ken stayed out under caution. Will be at the front. Then Blaze, Saturn, Krieger, and Juan, your top 5. Looking out is Yummy, Pink, Ginty, Mason, and now Dark. And we're going to have to watch Krieger and how he's going to take that restart. There's Junior making sure everyone's ready for the final time. Everyone bunches the back up together. Krieger wants that gap. Here's the countdown. Krieger wants the gap. Saturn doesn't want to keep it. But it's Krieger who still gets a good restart. He's got the full inside from Saturn. And Krieger will take 3rd. But here comes Juan on the inside, mixing it up. Juan will take 4th. Saturn down to 5th. Saturn looking down low as they battle for the lead. Blaze will pass on the inside easily enough. As the stage starts to come to a close. Side by side for 4th place, Saturn and Juan. Both really good drivers in their own rights. Blaze, I think, got pushed out of the way by the 00. Contact out of turn 4. Ken has the inside. Here comes Krieger looking down low. Can't keep that bottom away from Krieger, right? Krieger up to second place. Blaze with the dive. Contact from everybody. Those bumpers going to be pushed in by the end of tonight. Ken continues to lead. Krieger uses the bumper, trying to move the 00 out of the way. Blaze trying to get back to the inside. Big block from the 4. Here comes a dive. Krieger down low. Here comes Saturn. He tried to fill in the spot. Couldn't quite get the Blaze's quarter panel. Krieger will take the lead. 4 different leaders tonight. Blaze trying to get back to the lead. Here he comes on the inside. Couldn't quite keep the spot. Had him on the quarter panel. As here comes Saturn. Saturn. He got pushed on the inside by Ken. Now he's in a great spot. Second place, back to the 43. Now you gotta worry. You gotta catch up to Krieger. Don't let him get too far away. Four-car group is one, is back into the mix. Blaze kind of just let everyone by, reset. Now he's back on the inside. Looking for a 3-wide pass for third. One into the wall. Blaze gets third place, but it's not quite over yet. Still 3 wide. Ken backs out, uses the bumper, slams into the back of the 54. What a send. And all that while Saturn is on the back bumper of Krieger. Oh, look at this. Down low from Blaze. Down low from Juan. They're slamming. Here comes Yummy through. These guys fighting each other so hard. Yummy able to take advantage, and now he's into the mix. Saturn sends Krieger. There's contact everywhere. Saturn with the lead. Krieger not going to give it up. Here comes the bump. As Yummy now up to third place. Again, Yummy missing the last 2 races. Gets knocked out of the chase. He's now finding his way back in it. He's going to have to hold off Juan and Blaze. Well, I know Blaze is aggressive. I don't know too much about Juan, but we know how aggressive Blaze has been in the past. Juan a little bit wide in turn 4. Saturn starting to pull away. The stage coming to a close. Those points up for grabs. Saturn kind of coming out of nowhere, getting into this chase. And now getting ready for the playoff. Well, not the playoffs, but the chase points. Three laps to go in stage 1. Saturn into the apron in 1. Krieger's gonna gain through 2. He's on the back bumper on the back straightaway. Krieger down low looking, sends it in, moves Saturn way up high. Contact through 4. Yummy, oh, hard into the wall. Side by side with 2 laps to go in the stage. The battle for 5th heating up. Saturn looking to try to take it back. Krieger blocks. 1 lap to go in stage 1. Krieger desperate for stage points. Desperate for stage wins to try to get an edge over Pink. And it's Yummy battling for 3rd place. He needs as many points as he can get. 2 more corners in stage 1. Saturn uses the bumper, tries to move Krieger out of the way. Krieger basically just stays on the brakes, and he's going to win Stage number 1. Yummy able to hold off Juan for third, and it's Blaze staying in the top 5, knocking out Mason, who will not get any points. Huge for the 14. Huge for the 4. And they're still racing like crazy back there. But Saturn still looking for that lead. You can still kind of now pump the brakes though. So the stage is over. You got another 30 laps until the next stage, but Saturn's not going to do that. All on the bumper. Krieger, wide entry to 1, looking for the switchback, has a ton of speed, tries to move Saturn out of the way, doesn't work. Saturn retakes the lead. Oh, Yummy stuck on Mason for a moment. They get back going forward. That kind of spread everyone out. It's still Krieger looking for the lead, and it's Blaze looking for third, as both of them have kind of caught up to the leaders. Here's a look at what happened with Yummy. Looks like just went a little bit wide out of turn 4, and then yeah, it got hooked up with Mason. Mason getting off the gas. Smart move, as here comes the battle for second place. Juan on the inside of Krieger. Krieger way up high, looking for a switchback, but here comes Blaze on the inside. Krieger can't make the switchback work as the 54 fills in the spot. Blaze and Saturn in the fastest cars, Juan up there as well. All Krieger can do is watch. Blaze a little bit more on the outside. Gets a good arc through. Well, he's kind of in the apron through 2. Does actually gain a little bit though. I am curious of the fastest time, so we'll go maybe look at them in a moment. Blaze on the inside, trying to take second place away and catch Saturn. He's been the only one able to do it today. Side by side for second place. 3 and 4. Juan trying to switch back, uses the bumper. Blaze to the high side. It's going to be a battle for another couple laps. And Saturn's going to get an even larger lead. Blaze able to stay out in front. Now, I don't think you'll believe it, but the fastest lap, the fastest lap in qualifying was a 26.4 from Saturn. Fastest lap of the race is held by Krieger, a 26.2 flat. As there's Krieger using the car on the 66. As, apparently the 00 retired at some point, and Jay will be in. So Jay going to be able to go on the racetrack, as you can see, a lap down. But it'll be easy to get that lap back. Juan looking back down low. You can see here's the battle between Yummy and Mason. Both of them extremely close on points. 1 point differs these two coming into this race. Now, Yummy got 3 stage points though. So Yummy is actually 2 points ahead of Mason. You can see Mason's kind of struggling with the car in 1 and 2. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these 4. Yummy looking to get by Krieger. He's done it. Can he hold him off? That's going to be the question. Comes the send from the 4. Yummy a little bit high in the corner, but it's going to work out. Juan into the wall. So we get to around Lap 40. So right now Saturn with a second lead over Blaze. And Juan in third, sitting right behind. Yummy now stealing fourth place away from Krieger, and Mason's going to be battling with Krieger for fifth. Things calming down, at least up front, but heating up towards the rear of the pack. Pink right now having to defend from Dark and Ginty. Pink not having a very good night so far. Probably just struggling with the car, struggling with the track. It's Dark on the inside, looking for 7th place. Dark able to get on by, and now it's Ginty who's looking to overtake Pink. This is really closest battle on the racetrack. Here's Mason. Looking for 5th place. He's going to try to take it away from Krieger. As Pink getting passed by, almost got passed by Ginty. You can see the moves of Mason pulling on Krieger to try to keep him behind. All over the racetrack, these two. Mason down low to defend. Krieger running a little bit more up high to try to get some speed through the middle of the corner. Looks down low. Won't get that run. Now using the draft off of the 21. And you just got these little battles throughout the racetrack. He's won. Kind of slowly catching up to Blaze. Blaze still sitting about 8/10 behind Saturn. Hasn't really caught up. And, Juan and Yummy have been closing in lap by lap. Not going to be too much time for Blaze. He doesn't pick up the pace. Of course, on these late runs, you got to worry about fuel, got to worry about tire. Last pit stop was, lap 18? Been about 30 laps. Fuel usually only lasts around that long. As here we go. Side by side across the line, nearly identical. And Saturn's going to be loved seeing this in his mirror. As Juan is about done waiting. Look down low. Almost looked like he tried to make contact, couldn't quite get to the bumper. He's a little tap in the wall. And now second behind. Lost 2/10. Battling. Whoa, Juan is sending it in. Yummy a bit high in turn 2. He's gonna get a good run off the corner. Krieger stays in 6th. Dark still 7th. Ginty couldn't quite. No, Ginty did get past Pink. Pink is now 9th. What a day for him. Pit stops will be coming up, I'd assume, shortly. As we have coming up on 10 to go in stage 2. It's going to mix things up massively if they have to come down very late into the stage. And they're coming down now. Blaze stays out, but here comes Yummy pushing. Oh, he missed pit lane. Yummy missed pit lane, made contact with the 66 and missed it. Huge mess up from the 14. Mason, Krieger staying out, as well as Blaze. Yummy unintentionally staying out. Ginty and Pink as well. Out for another lap. Mason looking down in this time, but Blaze and Krieger still out on the racetrack. Yummy will come down this time. I can't believe what we just saw. So when will Blaze come down pit road? You can see Juan just in front, staying on the lead lap barely. He stays out for another lap. Here's another look at that incident between the 66 and the 14. So you're going to see them coming out now, but No, Yummy wanted to come down pit road. You can see he wanted a bunch of speed. Oh, it looked like maybe the throttle got stuck or something. Maybe a lag spike, but man, just missed it. I'd love for there to be some, comms from somebody, but unfortunately no driver streaming their POV tonight. Is Blaze, Krieger, Pink, Ginty. Oh no, Ginty just came down pit road. So I assume maybe Pink did as well. No. Pink's still on the lead lap, so 3 drivers have not come down pit road yet. We know Pink, master of fuel saving. You can see he's all alone on the racetrack. As that's Blaze coming in now. Now, there hasn't been penalties for speeding on pit road yet this season. So we'll have to see if that affects Blaze in any way. So this will leave Krieger and Pink as the last 2 cars on. Currently they're 1 stop so far. Oh, big lag spike. Ooh. Krieger stays out another lap. 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Can these 2 make it to the end of the stage? That would be astronomical if Krieger and Pink can make it to the end of the stage. It'd be huge. Not only because then Pink would get more stage points, but then Krieger would have another stage win. And he's been trying to get so many of those throughout the season, but can he make it? Kind of limping that machine around the racetrack. Saving as much fuel as possible. Pink doing the same. Maybe that's the strategy Pink had all along. Who knows? It's 8 seconds back now. I have to keep an eye on these 2. Everyone else has made their pit stop. Krieger stays out. Looked like he was slow out of turn 4. Dark's starting to catch up. He's going to unlap himself. So, if these 2 stay out, that means Saturn, Juan, and Blaze would get stage points. That would knock out Yummy from possibly getting stage points. We'll have to keep an eye, though, on where they are on the racetrack. 2 to go in the stage. Yummy's currently battling with Mason for a 5th spot in the chase. This could be everything for Yummy. Right now, battling with the 21. That's for that 5th place spot. 1 to go in the stage. Pink has stayed out. They're looking to go. 2 more corners and half the straightaway to go for Krieger. Oh no, we're coming up on the white flag. I apologize. He's coming in now on the last lap of the stage. He can't make it to the end of the stage. Here's the white flag for the stage. I think that might be, actually no, I don't know what's going on. That might have been the stage. I didn't ever see the white flag go out on the game. So we'll have to wait until the stage points or the stages get officially released from Junior, as it could have been Krieger or it could be Pink. Pink's still out on the racetrack. It should be Krieger. We'll get the results here in just a moment. But you're watching the battle for 5th place. This Blaze is going to drive right on through. So the official results. Whoa, what? The official results are incorrect from Junior. Because it did not list Pink on there. So I guess no one really knows what the stage 2. Oh no, yep, it's gone now. Never mind, it never got posted. Never mind. Confusion. flagging everybody. But that pit stop, that round of pit stops spread out this field massively. Saturn with a 1.8 second gap on Juan, as there's Pink in pit road. You can saw him there. Krieger 5 seconds behind. Blaze 6 seconds behind. And then Yummy and Mason battling right now for 5th place. Closest battle on the racetrack. It's still waiting on what happened for stage 2. I believe it will be Krieger and then Pink. I'm trying to double check what it should be. So unofficially, this is unofficial. It is Krieger, Pink, Saturn, Juan, and then Mason. Of course, that's unofficial. Not sure if Yomi was able to get by or not. Not sure if the timing board was incorrect. So we'll have to wait on an official word. But otherwise, it's most definitely Krieger who has stage number 2. He's swept the stages. Can he get to the front and get the race win? He's able to get by Blaze for 3rd. But he's still significantly farther back. 4 seconds behind Juan. Interesting how pit stops kind of ended up like this. Man, I knew that it would become pretty interesting when pit stops happened right before the stage end. So we actually did have the alt cast looking at Yummy and Mason, so we'll be able to get the official result for who got 5th place in just a moment. As it stands right now, Blaze trying to get around Krieger. And it was an intense battle between Yummy and Mason going to the end of the stage. Here it is on your right. Mason cutting the nose off of the 14. He goes wide. Yummy tries to fill in the spot. You can see Blaze was right there. They were side by side right to the line. It's actually Yummy who gets it, so that's good that we had a camera on that. You see that Yummy will get 5th in stage 1. So it'll be Krieger, then Pink, then Juan, I believe, or Saturn. It's crazy. I don't know. But it should be Yummy who gets 5th place out of it. And now that what happened to Saturn? I wonder if a leg spike maybe got Saturn? Who's down pit lane now? It's Juan, so they're already making their 2nd round of pit stops. Maybe if they couldn't make it to the end. So Juan down pit lane. Maybe that's what happened to Saturn. Yeah, you can see Saturn there. That's probably exactly what happened. We're probably going to get another round of pit stops. In Pink, make it the last 17 laps. See now, that's interesting. So we'll just kind of have to sit back and watch this one go. Let's have to see when Yummy, Mason, Dark go in, because, well, Dark's going to be in the mix with Yummy and Mason. He is in the mix with them. What in the world? You know, I guess my brain goes on autopilot because, I mean, here you go. There's your battle for 4th now. Of course, it'll really be for 5th or 6th once everything goes round and through with pit stops. Of course, that's if, you know, Saturn and Juan are going to be the only ones that go in. So the battle on your right is the battle for 4th currently, or sorry, 3rd. The battle for 3rd currently, and then the battle for the lead is on your left. 14 laps to go on what has been an interesting Milwaukee. Had a great battle at the beginning between Blaze and Saturn. Pit stops, kind of rolling through stage 2 and kind of possibly plaguing the end of the race here. So far, those have been the only 2 cars to come down pit road. Of course, I believe Saturn went down pit road. It makes sense with how Juan came out. And I wonder if they're trying to maybe plan ahead to see, you know, we don't know if we're going to have enough fuel now. Rather than run out with 2 to go, let's go get fuel now and gamble a little bit that everyone else is going to have to come down anyway. And, you know, coming down, the undercut should be faster because there's tire wear. So the undercut usually better in that case. But the way it stands right now, if no one has to pit, Blaze would be your leader, and Dark would be fighting for a possible podium. That would be huge. And, you know, the battle on the right is for all chase. These guys are all neck and neck in the chase right now, all within a couple of points of each other. Guys on your left, you know, Krieger's your points leader, just looking to get more points going into the chase. Blaze outside of any chase potential. Looking for just a win, a good old-fashioned win. And, you know, with how it stands right now, I'd say go fight for it. Yummy in the pit road. So maybe it will plague the end of this race. Yummy in the pit road with 10 to go. Now we'll have to keep our eye on Mason and Dark. Have to keep our eye on Krieger and Blaze. Can they make it the last 10 laps? Strategy. Always a factor in RACC. One caution tonight isn't unusual for RACC. Of course, we've had no caution races in the past. Last season was full of them. Or the last 2 seasons were full of them. 8 to go. Yummy the only one to come down pit road so far in this second group. And, you know, if Krieger and Blaze come down pit road now, their positions would be, they'd be very far back with how much battling is going on. Same thing with Dark Mason in that group, as, you know, Ginty is actually going to become a part of that group soon as well, as because of just all the battling that they've been doing. They've been fighting so hard. But will anyone else have to come down pit road? This would be a massive, massive upset with Yummy getting 9th if no one else comes in. You got 5th in stage 2. We have the video evidence of that. So just able to, you know, get a couple of points there. It was 3rd in stage 1, so not a complete horrible day, but you have to hope these guys come down as they come to 5 laps to go. Dark down pit road. He's going to be the next one to go and get fuel. Who's going to have the larger fuel tank? At this point, Blaze not even really fighting. He has to conserve that fuel to make it to the end of this race. 4 to go. Mason to 3rd. Ginty to 4th. Pink to 5th. Everyone else has made their pit stop. If Saturn and Juan were able to make this one work, it would be legendary. Pink was the one that could stay out the longest the last time around. Can everyone else make it, though? 3 to go. Of course, if you're Blaze, you have to apply the pressure at some point. When is the pressure going to be applied? Will it be here? Is Krieger out of gas? No. Slow down the back straightaway, the both of them are. How much conserving can you do? Thought Krieger was going to go down, but 2 laps to go. It looked like Krieger wanted to go down pit road, but I mean, at this point, it's do or die. Just trying to hold on to these cars. 1 lap to go. Can they make it another lap around? Can Blaze try to apply some pressure? I believe Ginty went down pit road as well. Oh, hard on the wall. I think that was Yummy. No, Ginty's spinning. On the inside, he's lagging. Is anyone going to hit him? To the flag. Krieger's going to make the fuel tank last and win at Milwaukee. How did he make that one work? Pink will get 4th. Saturn will get 5th. The gamble did not work. For those 2 that came in early, as Dark will get 8th. Yummy 7th. Ginty 9th. Mason with an amazing finish. Blaze gun burn it down with Krieger apparently. Ginty is yet to finish the race. There he is out of turn 4. Oh no, that's Mason. And then, yeah, Mason and then Ginty back there. So Ginty finally crosses the line. Mason just checked out the fuel of the 4 car. How did he make that one work? Blaze congratulating Krieger after a run of attrition. Let's get a race winner up here. Krieger, how did you make the fuel work? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How did you?
Pull it to victory lane.
How did you make the fuel work for the end of that race?
Sacrificing position was the whole way that worked. Because once I got to stage, what was it? The second one, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I lasted that whole stage, I was like, okay, I'll be all right. Because in the middle of that stage, I just started dropping. I was sandbagging so bad. I was like, this might not work out. Because I remember at one point, I think Saturn had like a 5-second lead over me or something like that. I was like, oh, this might not work. I was like, if I don't get a quick enough stop to get in and out, I'm not going to make it out in time. But instead, I want to say thank you to damn Blaze, because that man pretty much made up everything I hated him for. Like, I don't hate him now, but like in the past, dude was on me, and then I just was able to save more. I was going to be able to make it either way, but that's a go to that man right there. It's similar to Michigan and how I lasted so long, like with just fuel.
So you sweep Milwaukee. I mean, that's kind of huge for you and your battle with Pink in terms of playoff points. You sitting pretty comfortable now going into Daytona?
I want to sweep there too. I want to try to get the biggest gap I can get going into this chase. But this was like really needed. Yeah, I decided to risk it, and it turned out it worked.
Let's. I'm gonna take it back to that restart from the first caution and the battle it was to get to the end of the stage. What was it like battling in the pack, trying to fight for the lead, trying to get the stage win, and then of course conserving the field to get the stage win?
Yeah. What I found out you could do is like having the fight in the pack. You just let people mess up themselves. I wasn't really. I'd give some people a bump, but like it wasn't really enough to send you. But just the pack in general, once you got at least around someone, you could start pulling away. Because like whoever broke away from the pack would pull away. But it wasn't really that hard to fight in the pack. You had a couple of people who were causing havoc, but those guys were really in the back. But when you coast enough into the corner, you get a huge run and you get on someone's inside. And I think it was Juan that I passed. I was having a fight with. But once I got around him, I just started coasting, and then just slowly be able to like save more fuel. But it costed me almost stage 2, because if I didn't do that, I would have had to pit way earlier than everyone else. Because trying to catch up to everyone in the pack, I did waste a lot of fuel, but I ended up just saving so much to the point where it worked out.
All right, Krieger. Anything else to add on for tonight?
Overall, great race, and thank you for not doing what always happens to someone bringing out a caution.
All right, thank you, Krieger. Congratulations on the win. We'll see what you can do in Daytona. Let's get up Mason. It was a big race for Mason into tonight, and a third place finish for the 21. I saw you had his hand up earlier. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, there he is. All right, Mason, third place. How were you able to make the fuel last to the finish?
I pretty much stopped.
Well, you were battling with pretty much everyone in the rear of the pack. There was Yummy, there was Dark, and then Jinty kind of poked his head there for a little bit. How did you manage to keep fuel consumption low and then while battling for position?
I didn't hit the gas. That's it.
Didn't hit the gas.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the whole
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, that's really it. Don't hit the gas.
Fair enough. So with this third place finish, you're finishing ahead of Yummy, you're finishing ahead of Jinty, everyone, and then as well as Dark. So this was a big point stay. Were you in any of the stage wins? Or stage top 5s? I don't believe so.
I do. In stage 2, I beat Yummy. But I don't know why JR is saying it was
There's
Yummy,
video
but
proof of Yummy getting the spot.
that was the lap before though. That was when Krieger was coming to the checkered, and we still had 1 lap to go.
I guess Junior will have to take another look back at it. But in terms of stage and points and all that, how are you feeling going into Daytona, knowing that Chase is right there?
I want to win. That's pretty much it. I don't care for the chase. I just want to win.
Don't even really care for the chase or the championship. Just
No, I want to win. That's it. I
Just
just want to win a race.
Fair enough. All right.
You know how close I've been.
That's true. All right, Mason. Anything else to add on for tonight?
Racism.
Thank you, Mason. All right, let's get up Dark up next. He was with the pack of Yummy and Mason. Dark, where are you? Are you in the garage?
Yes, I am.
You are. All right, Dark. You were up in the top 5 with 5 to go, and then what happened there at the end of the race?
I just didn't have enough to make it. It was that simple. I probably should have been saving a bit more, a bit earlier. I really wasn't saving. I was desperate to just pass anybody that I could. Once I caught, Mason, I thought I could save with them, but I didn't. I guess I didn't save for long enough or hard enough. But everything that could go wrong today pretty much did go wrong. So I'm quite pissed. The other drivers can attest. I had a rare moment of weakness where I just fucking screamed at somebody, and I also wished a plague upon F9's house. I really need to finish good at Daytona. That's really the long and short of it.
So was there a little bit of, feedback given back and forth with Ken or F9 throughout the race?
He just fucking, I don't know what got into him. I think he just tried. I don't know. We had some contact. I deemed it serious enough that I went off on him. I held back a little bit, but even the other drivers thought I went a bit too far. But he pulled it off not long after that for hopefully unrelated reasons.
All right, and then you said Daytona, it's going to be a huge race for you. What's the plans going into Daytona?
Cheat up the car, get on pole, win the stages, finish well enough to make it into the chase.
All right, Dark. Anything else to add on for today? It's been a tough race.
I'm fucking tired, man.
All right, Dark. Well, we wish you luck at Daytona, and we'll see how this all plays out in the chase. All right, next up, another one with a chase heartbreak. Yummy. We'll get him up here. You've had your hand up for a little while.
Just a little bit.
Yummy, you were up front a few times towards the end of the race, but it seems like fuel also plagued you towards the end of that race.
Yeah, it was all on me. I made the decision to take a little less fuel during the first green flag pit stops. Thought I'd be able to recover after smacking into Juan and missing pit road my first time in. But yeah, so I took a little bit less fuel to try to compensate. Figured it'd be just enough, and it was just shy. If I had taken the full tank, it would have been easy sailing. But lost a few points to Mason. Not happy about that. So it's gonna come down to Daytona. So I have confidence. I mean, track I know well. I mean, I feel like everybody knows it well, but you know, when it comes to super speedway racing, I'm pretty comfortable with it. So we'll make it in.
How was the racing throughout tonight? You were able to pretty much battle with every pack in the field.
Yeah, in all honesty, I wasn't a big fan of the racing. I mean, the battles themselves were fine, but it wasn't a fun track to race others on. It's not necessarily the drivers, but just the technicalities of racing here is probably one of the worst experiences I've had at Milwaukee. But wasn't bad, but definitely left a lot to be desired. But I don't fault Dark for his little crash out there. It was pretty evident early on that the 00 was going to be a headache for everybody, and it ended up being true. So I'm glad he pulled it off early.
Well, glad there's some sentiment in the garage area with all of each other. So Daytona, is the plan to stick up front the whole race, or are you planning on doing more of a pink strategy, hanging in the back, let everyone battle, and then work your way to the front for stages in the win?
In all honesty, I'd love for it to stay green
I'll have it be a pit
for as long
strategy
as
race.
possible. At Daytona, yeah. But no, Daytona, I don't like sitting back in the field. It just makes me mad. So just sitting out front for as long as I can up until the end. So, and when it comes to the white flag, you just hope and pray that that you get
Right.
lucky there. That's all you can do at Daytona. Talladega, it's a bit easier, but Daytona, for some reason, it's just it's a different track to tame.
All right. I mean, anything else to add on for tonight?
Um, uh, we'll see you at Darlington.
All right. Thank you, Yummy. Review back to the peanut gallery, and then Pink, the last one. Kind of skipped you accidentally, Pink. You are over here. So Pink seemed like it was kind of possibly a struggle. Can you turn it into a different direction than the wall, Pink, please? You're facing the wall.
Gotcha.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, Pink. So was it kind of a struggle all race, or were you conserving fuel kind of throughout the entire part of the race?
No, it wasn't a struggle. What had happened was 00 was forcing 4 and 3 wide for last, and then ultimately we got broken away from the pack, and then with me doing my fuel saving strategy, just dropped back, and so it would have been fine, but since the 00 decided he wanted to piss everybody off and be a dumbass, uh, ultimately we can catch up to the field, and with no cautions, you just get stuck in the back. So, yeah.
Well, I mean that fuel saving did end up saving, or making it worth it probably in the end. 4th place unofficial finish. You know, you're still sitting really good spot in the chase. 2nd place, good room on all sides. Is Daytona going to be just kind of try to get stage points, try to get points in general, or is it kind of going to be a more relaxed race for you?
I'm just gonna run my strat, stay in the back, and then when it gets to last couple laps in the stages, I'll make my pushes, see what points I can get. And then just rinse and repeat to the end of the race.
The same old strategy.
I don't like to get mixed up in super speedway bullshit, so.
Well, fair.
But
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think I'm more excited for the chase. I think I should be pretty good because I mean, if you look, I can find the schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
Darlington is first.
right.
It's one of my favorite tracks. Road America is not the best, but it's not the worst either. So, that could be 2 wins right there. Atlanta is kind of a toss-up. I would say it's like unpredictable, but with these new cars, I don't think it's gonna be a new experience for all the people. So we'll see what happens there. And then Homestead is Homestead at the end of the day. So
All right, Pink. Well, anything else to
I'm
add
going to
on?
push more.
Anything else to add on for tonight, Pink?
Um, somebody needs to give Dark a hug. He crashed out. It was I never heard that before, bro. You should have heard it.
I
It was like
should have been streaming.
I had too much lag, bro. I don't trust Spectrum anymore.
I wouldn't trust him either. All right, Pink. Well,
Broken my heart.
yeah. Well, you're just locked into the chase, and I'm excited to see what you do in the chase. So thank you, Pink. We'll move you down to the peanut gallery, and we'll move everyone out of the peanut gallery. Get out of here. Get out of my stage. Well, that will wrap it up here from Milwaukee. Thank you all for tuning in. What a race and what a battle. It's Krieger who's in victory lane. He actually left victory lane. So it's just me out here. Thank you all for tuning in. Been quite the race tonight. Krieger makes his lead even more. We'll see how the chase wraps up with Daytona. Last race before the cut line. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I've been T-Man, and we'll see you. When is it? Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Sunday at 1. We'll see you then.
White flag. He finished